So the class is brought to you by OMENKA app. This is Igbo Literacy Project. And today we are going to look at different types of Ilu Igbo. Anyị ga-eleba anya n'ọtụtụ ilu dị iche iche. Ugbu a, ana m arịọ mmadụ niile dịka ị na-abata, gaa na akaụntụ anyị na OMENKA app, were otu nkeji abụọ lee onyonyo vidio nke m tinyere ebe ahụ. Vidio ahụ epinere ya epin, ị ga-ahụ ya ịbanye na the account, lee vidio nke edere Ilu Igbo. I want you to go to our account now, go and watch that video that I just posted this morning. I posted it for the benefit of this class because we're going to look at, can you hear me? All right. We are going to look at the proverbs from there. Ọ bụ na ị bịara nkuzi nke izu gara aga, ị ga-ama na ihe anyị lebara anya bụ anyị tọrọ ntọala ka esi aghọta ilu Igbo. If you were here in the last class last week, which is a week today, you would understand, you will remember that we laid a foundation on how to understand Igbo proverbs. Okay? So if you're here for the first time, you're welcome. Ị ga-ekweta na nwatakịrị ahụ tụrụ ilu niile ahụ ọ tụrụ maara mkpa ilu dị n'ala Igbo. Ọ maara mkpa ilu dị n'ala Igbo. N'izu gara aga, anyị bidoro ịkọwa ihe gbasara ilu, wee na-ekwu ka ilu ji bụrụ ihe dịrị ndị Igbo mkpa n'okwu a na-ekwu ekwu. We established this fact that the proverbs are a very important aspect of the linguistic ecology, linguistic property, cultural heritage of the Igbo people. Okwayano, yes. Anyị tọrọ ntọala kwuo ka esi aghọta ilu. We established the ways we can understand Ilu Igbo. We did these two things. I wee sị n'ụbọchị taa, anyị ga-abanyezi ileba ilu anya. Now, whether you are going to be able to write it well or not write it well, I want us to start from, thank you, Nze Kanze. Nze Kanze, ndewo, Chukwu gozie gị. That donut seems to be. How do you get the all right. Ọ bụrụ na ilele onyonyo ahụ nọ na TikTok anyị ugbu a, aga m achọ onye mbụ ga-edepụtara anyị ilu mbụ nwata akwụkwọ ahụ tụrụ ebe ahụ. Agaghị m achọ ịma ma ị ga-edete ya ma ị ga-edete ya. Just write it and I'm going to write it out here. Ilu mbụ nwata akwụkwọ ahụ tụrụ ebe ahụ. Aga m achọ ka anyị dee ya ebe a. Onye mbụ ga-edere anyị ilu mbụ ị nụrụ nwata akwụkwọ tụrụ ebe ahụ. Stephen Dalo, oh, thanks for following. All right. Winzy Prince, kedu ebe isi? Ama m na aha gị bụ aha Igbo, ịbụ nwa afọ Igbo. Gịnị bụ aha Igbo gị? Ana m eche onye ga-edere anyị ilu mbụ nwata akwụkwọ tụrụ na onyonyo ahụ ilere. Sylvia Nwajak, ndewo. Cross, ya dere gị na mma. Daalụ, o. Christinas, daalụ, ya dere gị na mma. Sylvia, ị na-asị m hello? Ị bụ onye ọcha? Aha, Sylvia, daalụ, o. Ya bụ na a na o nọ na daalụ gị karịzịrị Katọlik. Kedu ebe izi weta a na o niile ndị anyị dere? All right. Nwata erughị eru chọba ihe mere nna ya. Ihe mere nna ya eme ya. Chineye, ndewo. Odoziakụ Chineye, daalụ. Christina Smart, use the link on our bio to join the Telegram group, and then we will attend to your individual problems with Igbo language, okay? Sylvia, as well, go to our bio on TikTok, join the Telegram group. I may not be able to answer all the questions individual people have in the class. All right, kai were nke mbụ usekwu food edego nke abụọ. Nwata erughị eru. Unu na-agide m ka m depụta ya. Nwata erughị eru. Chọwa ihe mere nna ya. Mama, ihe mere nna ya eme ya. Okay. Nwata erughị eru chọwa ihe mere nna ya. Ihe mere nna ya eme ya. Etu a ka esi ede ya. Na ka anyị leba anya n'ilu ndị a. Ọ bụrụ na ị chọọ ịghọta ilu a, ihe mbụ ga-enyere anyị aka bụ ịghọta mkpụrụ okwu mebere ilu ndị a. If we want to understand the proverb, we will look at the individual words first of all. And the first question we ask ourselves, I'm saying this now in English for the benefit of those who are learning how to speak Igbo. The first question you ask yourself is, do I understand each word? Do I understand each word that makes up this proverb? Nke mbụ, ị ghọtara nwata? Yes, nwata is a child, right? Nwata is a child. Erughị eru, chọwa ihe mere nna ya. Do we understand all of these words? Now, n'uche m, ihe a bụ otu ilu mkpụrụ okwu ndị mebere ya dị ọra ya ahụ ka ịghọta ihe dị n'ime ha, ma ọ bụ ọra ya ahụ ka ịghọta nghọta dị n'ime ha, ma ọ bụ mpụtara dị n'ime ha. This is one of the proverbs that each word that makes it up is easy to understand. A typical or an average learner of Igbo, to a large extent, may understand what nwata means, right? Eru is something that is possible to also understand easily. Okay. Now, for those that think in English first, and I know that up to 85% or more of my audience here thinks in English first. And I can also categorically say to a large extent that so many of us think in English first. And this is one of the problems our Igbo language is having. When we say a thing, when we hear somebody say a thing, before we know it, we are translating it in our English mind before we could understand it. Now, for me, I don't need to translate this ilu to English to understand it. I know some people, it is like that for them too. But we will do that here. Now, for us to weigh the translation, we will now look at what could be the literal transliteration. When a child is not well grown, when a child begins early to seek what happened to their father, what happened to the father may happen to him. Usually a male child. That's what you want to understand here. Right. N'ala Igbo, atụọrọ gị ilu dị ụta, gịnị ka ọ pụtara? Kedu mgbe e nwere ike ịhụ ụdị ilu dị ụta? Ihe ilu a na-akwu obe na when a child is at the stage of wanting to know what happened to my father, what this ilu is saying, first of all, before this ilu will be told, the father of this child is possibly not alive. Nna ya adịghị ndụ. Nwata bụ isi ilu a. The nwata that is in this proverb is a subject. Nwata ahụ nọ n'ime ilu a, kedu nkọwa ilu a na-enye nwata ahụ? Mana ọ dịghị n'ime ilu edere anyị. Nkọwa ilu a na-enye nwata nọ n'ime ilu a bụ na nwata a na-ekwu okwu ya, nna ya adịghị ndụ. This is the unsaid fact associated with this proverb. The nwata we are talking about, Kachijo Ndewo Dalo, is a nwata whose father is probably no longer alive. Ilu a wee na-enye nwata, na-enye nwata ọnọdụ nke onye nna ya na-anọghịzi ya. Ihe ọzọ anyị ga-aghọta n'ilu a, another thing we can understand from the proverb. Sister Carol Ndewo Dalo, nwanne Akachijo Dalo, the Sami Chukwu gozie unu, ndị na-esetụpụ aka na-enye onyinye. Ka Chukwu gozie unu. Ya dịrị gị na mma nna m, Dalo. God bless you. All right. Nwata anyị na-ekwu okwu ebe a, ilu a na-enye ya ọnọdụ nke nwata nna ya na-adịghịzi ndụ. Ọnọdụ ọzọ ọ na-enye ya bụ nwata na-achọ ịma ihe mere nna ya. N'ihi gịnị? Nwata amaghị. N'ihi mgbe ihe mere nna ya mere ya, nwata ahụ amaghị. Thank you, Kachijo. Let me now say it in English. The child who is the subject of this proverb, in this proverb, is a child whose father is possibly no longer alive. This child is also presented in this proverb as a child who possibly does not know when whatever happened to the father happened to him. That means he was much younger. Now, this child now is beginning to find out, do a research. What really happened to my father? But there's a caveat. The word eru. N'uche nke m, ilu a otu okwu gbara ọkpụrụkpụ karịchasị okwu ndị ọzọ bụ eru. And that is the word that portrays the reasoning behind the proverb. Dalo Cross, Chukwu gozie gị. Thanks for the king crown. Chukwu mege eze o, ndewo nna m. God bless you. Right. Ka anyị ghọta ya nọ ọzọ. Mkpụrụ okwu a bụ eru nke bụ ngwa, bụ n'uche nke m bụ mkpụrụ okwu kachasị dị mkpa na mkpụrụ okwu niile nọ na ilu a atọrọ. Eru. When a child begins early, when the child is not mature enough, when the child is not grown enough, when the child has not laid enough foundation of protection, but begins the research on what happened to the father, Igbo wee sị, ma ọ kpachapụ ya anya, this is the unsaid one, ma ọ kpachapụ ya anya, ihe mere nna ya eme ya. Wisdom. Right. Ihe mere nna ya eme ya. Gịnị mere nna ya? N'ilu a, ihe mere nna ya abụghị naanị na nna ya nwụrụ anwụ. The proverb is not portraying only that the father is no longer alive, but the proverb is trying to also show that there was a cause to the father's not being alive. And the proverb is now in the second version of it, warning. The same thing that may have caused the father's not being alive may also cause the child's not being alive. Repeated pattern. Thank you, Useku Foods. Kachijo ndewo sisi chukwu gozie gị. Kachijo wee na-esi na kama na egburu nna ya egbu. That's another fact. Ọ ga-abụrịrị na nna ya anwụghị ọnwụ chi ya. Ya bụ na nwata bidozie mgbe ọ na-erubeghị eru wee chọwa ihe mere nna ya, ma nwa ha akpachapụghị anya, ihe gburu nna ya wee mee ya, wee gbuo ya. Now, this is a warning proverb from an elderly person to a young person. That is the first situation we will understand here. In subsequent proverbs, aga m ajụ unu kedu ọnọdụ nwere ike ịtụrụ mmadụ ilu a, because every proverb, like we learned last week, every proverb is said in the context, cultural context. Anaghị atụ ilu n'efu. Ilu niile na-adaba n'ihe eji tụọ ya. Every proverb is according to the context. I'm saying this one now. I'm giving you the answer. In the subsequent one, aga m ajụ unu. So the answer to this, the proverb is said in the context of where the elderly is trying to advise the younger. Let me also give the extended cultural context. This might be a situation whereby nwata akpatago ego, nwata nọzi n'ofe, nwata ahụago cash, right? Nwata is beginning to see himself as, I have arrived. Then nwata is also possibly being rude to the elderly, being disrespectful to the elderly, maybe. Or nwata is consciously, without any harm to anybody, searching or asking questions about what really happened to the father. The other thing that is implied is nwata is not necessarily asking about the father, but rather nwata is asking about his inheritance that the father may have left. For instance, if a child traveled home and began to question some situations, they will catch it. And some of those situations are often associated with land possession, land heritage, land inheritance. Mobula nwata si ozi bekee, ala bekee. Ọ bụrụ na akpa ya adịtụgo arụ somehow. Ọ bụrụ na o nwego ihe o dosara, o wee gaa na-ajụzi ajụjụ ihe gbasara de alaka kwanu dịkwanụ na ofe ebe a, kedụkwanụ ka o si dịrị. Ọkwa ọdụ anyị nwe ala ahụ. Abịara Usekwufu, thank you for the beautiful golden medal. Appreciate. Ndewo. O wee site, asịkwanụ m ka njọ, kedụkwanụ maka ala anyị ahụ. Efe enye, Igbo siri ike. Now, two things, thank you. Two things. The elderly, onye na-atụ ilu a, ndewo Sekwufu, na-abịa bịa nke akwanụ biko konono. Ị ga-ezi m bịa nke nruzie na-agazi n'ụzọ ndị village anyị agazi akọta m. Maọbụ mgbacha ụdị ahụ ọnụ m ga-awa nruzie n'ụlọ. Onye okenye atọrọ m ilu a sị nwata erughị eru chọghị. Thank you for the heart. Bless you. Thank you. All right. Let's look at who must be the one telling this proverb. Okay? Ọ na-ajaju ebe ịdị isi na ndị aja. Okay, all right. So, Kachijo, but okay, maybe you can write it in English so that I will understand. Kachijo, you can have a class, okay? You can have a class one number. All right. So, Kailaya onye nwere ike bụ onye nwere ike na-atụ ilu a. Who must be the one saying this proverb? Number one, an uncle. Most likely an uncle. Most likely a family member. An elderly family member. A trusted family member. Extended one. Okay? And one of them might be a person who really loves this water. Oh, okay. Thank you. On a judge, even sin a jano. Good. That's another. So, o nwere ike na onye na-atụ ilu a wee bụrụ onye nsi na onye aja. And you know that sometimes before they do what they do, the village people, you know, those we really consider village people, Hana ebuz onye a kind of warning. And they do a coded warning. Mostly, the warning does not come in plain language. It comes in a proverb like this. Okay? All right. I know. Okay. There we'll catch you. All right. Good. So, most of the times, it might be a coded warning from Onyen Sinaja. Thank you for the cake. Another time, it might be an elderly person who is really, really concerned to warn this young person. Okay? These are the two people, usually men, that may be the sayer of this proverb. Okay? The producer of this proverb. Nke mbụ, onye hụrụ nwata ahụ n'anya. Onye na-achọghị ka ihe mere nna ya mee ya. A person who really loves the nwata in this proverb, who doesn't want him to face the father's fate. Nke abụọ, most importantly, a very bad family member, a very bad uncle, who doesn't want the nwata to know about some of the things he may have grabbed from the father, because the father died long ago when the nwata was still very much unaware of his environment. This is a situation where this ilu will come out. Nwata erughị eru. Now, let's bring the word erughị eru. Erughị eru apụtaghị na nwata etobeghị. Okay? Erughị eru does not possibly mean that this person is not grown, is not an adult. He's an adult. Very likely for a child or a person to begin to ask questions that may lead to this proverb, it means that this person is an adult. But in the eyes of Onye Turilu, in the eyes of the person who said this proverb, they're not supposed to begin to ask this question at this moment. It's possibly they have not gotten to the age of the father, right? Good. So is that possible? Emeka, meaning, all right, good. Yes. So otogo, mana culturally, o nwere ike na orubeghị ogo ekwesịrị ịjụ ụfọdụ ajụjụ. O kwere ike na orula, mana na anya onye nsi na aja, nwata ekwesịghị ịjụrụ ajụjụ a mancha mancha. Exactly. Dịka m kwuru ya na mbụ kachijo. The nwata has not really well balanced himself, either with the cultural knowledge. And then let me say this as a kind of dropping it out there. Ọtụtụ n'ime anyị nọ na mba. So many of us are overseas and outside of Igbo land. Ịga na-achụ ego. Ọ na-adị mma tupu ịjụ ụfọdụ ajụjụ, mee ka ị gbaa mgbọrọgwụ nke ọma. N'ihi gịnị? Onye atụrụ ilu a, ịgwa gị nke ebe eziokwu. Ọ bụrụ na onye tụrụ ilu a bụ onye nsi na aja dịka Kachijo kwuru. As soon as you ask this question, they have put you in the book. Before you know it, they are watching you. They are programming you. Especially, yes, if you are one who left either early or you are not born in the ground, excuse me. ọ bụrụ na ị bụ onye amụrụ na mba ị machaghị ala, nna gị egosichaghị gị ala, nna gị akpọrọghị gị laa ụlọ wee gosi gị etu ụlọ siri dịrị, tupu ị jụọ ụdị ajụjụ a, gbaa mbọ hụ na ị gbara mgbọrọgwụ. If you're a person who left early, if you're a person who was born overseas, if you're a person or who was born outside of Igbo land, and before you know it, before you begin to ask this question, you have to get yourself grounded before they put you on their watch list. Begins to program you, okay? Oh, ndewo cross daalụ. Biko gba mbọ bịakwa nkuzi nke ụbọchị nke izu na-abịa abịa. Ya dịrị gị na mma cross. Daalụ. God bless you. All right. So this is a situation, and we have extensively is well, my brother. We have extensively provided the background to this proverb. So Nkembo, the subject of this proverb is Nghọta. And Nghọta could be any one of us, okay? Right. Right. So Nghọta could be any one of us, especially any one of us who's living outside of Igbo land. O nwere ike bụ anyị n'ihi ọtụtụ n'ime anyị nọ na mba. Ọgụrụ na ị nọ Nnewi, ọgụrụ na ị nọ Aba, ya na village unu bụ ihe dịka Ido-Atọ, Owerri, ị nọghị na village unu. Mana ị lọtara, ebe ị lọtara Christmas, i wee bido jụgharịwa ajụjụ, mana i wee hụ na ajụjụ ị na-ajụ ndị na-ajụ obi adịcha ha mma, atọrọ gị ilu a. Now you have to do a U-turn. You need to do a U-turn at this moment and begin to re-examine yourself, re-evaluate yourself. Two things. Am I really up to what may start coming because of this question? Etorugom inagide ihe na ajụjụ am na-ajụ ga-ebute. Ihe ajụjụ am na-ajụ ga-ebute. Sorry. Please, there's a link on our bio. Use it to join the Telegram group. We are going to be making time to reach out to people's individual needs there. But if you need one-on-one customized, you go to our website, www.i-hub.org, and register for the one-on-one customized class, okay? But then, if you join the Telegram group, I am going to possibly answer some of the questions you have, and then we will determine whether you need one-on-one, okay? There we go. Yeah, Emeka said, unless you prepare to show them that you've arrived and can withstand whatever comes, or you will tell the one them okay. Eziokwu ka ọ bụ kachijo. Ị ga-abịazi chọọ ụzọ ị ga-eji zọwa isi onwe gị. The reason is that so long as you've asked this question, ọ bụrụ na ị jụrụ ya to the wrong person, that wrong person is uncle ahụ, nwanne nwoke ahụ, nwanne nne, nwanne nna ahụ, who really is either remotely the cause of your father's spy or directly. Then you are asking the wrong person. So this proverb is coming as a direct warning. But if you're asking from the uncle or that elderly person who does not intend to hurt you, is also coming as a warning, but it's coming as a warning for you to prepare yourself before you begin to ask certain questions. Ọ dị m ka anyị aghọtala ihe anyị na-akọwa ebe a. Nke mbụ, anyị ahụgo nwata dịka onye isi nọ na ahịrịokwu ilu a. Now, Emeka na-asị na a father can still tell his child same question. Okay. Okay, I will agree partially with you, Emeka, mana I will now wonder, kedu ọnọdụ nna ga-eji agwa nwa ya ụdị okwu dị otu a. Let's say a situation whereby the father is still alive but is very much unwell. All right. Osei Jendewo, you're welcome. All right. We have translated in the past, but I will talk about it again. For a reason, help such child may be patient in. That's a situation, prayer or DHC. Okay. I teach standard Igbo, Nena. If the child doesn't respect or on what happened, fine girl, Igbo, I would like to know. Or he can still be well, but need to pre-inform the child of the. No, Emeka, I do not think this proverb will be suitable. Let ka anyị ghọta ya ọzọ. Okay, Ogechi, ndewo. Nwata erughị eru jụwa ihe mere nna ya. Look at where you see this clause does not support that the father is alive and well. Ihe mere nna ya. If the father is alive and well, this proverb will not have this clause. Ogechi, ọ dị ka ị bịara ugbu a, aga m asị gị just be coming down small, you know, ka ị nwee ike ịghọta the context, what we are saying, okay? But while you are doing that, I would like you to do two things. Go to our bio, join the Telegram group, and then go to our account, watch the proverb, the video I pinned there, where this proverb is gotten from. Okay? You can use 2 minutes to do that. All right, that's what we are discussing. All right, so Emeka Nwanam, yeah, ọ bụrụ na nna nwata dị ndụ, ọ naghị arịa, it might not be possible to say this proverb. Okay, so this proverb is portraying a situation where the father of this child, nwata, is not there, is no longer present. But I will not be present, and I will not onondo ya na na tilu anyemwaya. If it is the father that is saying this proverb to the child, it then means the father is either on a sick bed or is in a situation where he's incapacitated. And maybe the child is asking, Papa, can you do him or can you do this situation and that and all that? Then Naya Garcia, you know, jigodo nwayo ka ihe mere m hapụ ime gị. But like I say, ọ rara ahụ for a father to be the one to tell this proverb to the child. Okay. In 1993, Enki Abiola was, and in 2023, same could have happened to P.O. Well, yeah, Emeka is now plunging us into Nigerian politics. So Emeka, in this situation, so NKO now would have been P.O.'s father. Ahụtara m ebe ị na-eje mana ihe nyere nsogbu na accept the child is too forward. That's someone okay. So Emeka, so ihe nyetụrụ nsogbu na you know, example ị nyere bụ yeah, but na there has to be a father who is possibly no longer alive. Then there has to be an uncle who is telling the story, who is giving the proverb to the water, right? So somebody may have said to P.O., see what happened to MK. But the situation, the question now will be, is P.O. not well mature? Is he not well balanced? Is he not well grounded in going the route MKO did? I think he is. And I think he has shown that he is. You understand? So I'm not I'm now applying it to the wider political terrain that you brought us to. And I'm saying, yeah, I think he is. So Pio is even much more acquainted with everything it takes. And he has shown it. Pio has been one person in all Nigerian political history who has said, go and verify my past. And nobody has verified and come back to tell him you are lying. They have found nothing in him. They have found nothing in him. And then the other situation, Pio is not really forward. Like Pio is not showing being too forward. Pio he has an ambition that is in the right place, right? And it's about time. So if you look at all of this, the proverb does not necessarily speak to that situation. All right, let's come back. Okay. Ndewo Emeka. So iji chịkọta ilu a tupu anyị agafe n'ilu nke abụọ bụ na nke a bụ ilu okenye ga-atụrụ nwata mgbe nke mbụ ọ hụrụ nwata ahụ n'anya, ọ chọghị ka ihe mere nna ya mee ya. Ma ọ bụ nke abụọ, ọ bụ onye nsi na aja, ọ bụ one of the village people ndị a na-asọ asọ, na-achọghị ka nwata toruo ịnọchi nna ya. That's another situation. Ndewo Emeka. All right. Same as to approach our brother MNK went against the... Well, I mean, MNK as well did his thing. For me, he did what he had to do. Okay. And MNK got to the point that he didn't fear anything. Even where he is now, I can say he doesn't even fear it. It doesn't matter what. After all, Mandela was in prison for 27 years before he became the president. He might not be the president. We don't know if they're going to release him or not, but he saw what was coming and he went in for it. That's my understanding about it. So I don't blame him for anything he might have done or said. All right. There one. Okay. Ilu nke abụọ si na onyonyo ahụ, ọ bụrụ na ị na-eso ya anyị ugbu a, biko ọ dị mkpa ka anyị mara ihe anyị na-eme ebe a. Ndewo Kachijo, daalụ nna m, ya dịrị gị na mma n'izu ọzọ. Yeah, of course. You're right, Emeka. Yeah, Kachijo, daalụ. Yeah. Chetakwa ịbịa klaasị n'izu na-abịa abịa. Anyị na-ebe a n'ụbọchị taa ịkọwa ilu Igbo, ịkọwa nghọta dị n'ilu Igbo. Anyị ji onyonyo nke anyị tinyere na akaụntụ anyị na TikTok wee na-akọwa ya, onyonyo nke anyị tinyere ebe ahụ n'ụtụtụ a maka ihe nkuzi a. Ihe abụọ dị n'ihe anyị na-eme. For those that are joining us that understand English more than Igbo, we are discussing the second topic. The second time we're discussing the Igbo proverbs and how they play roles in bringing a very mature, deeper understanding. So we are using the video I posted this morning on our TikTok account. I think it's also on our YouTube, to make this class today a worthwhile experience for all of us. So we have just explained the first proverb. So if you have not watched that proverb, that video, please go watch that video and get back to the class. The other thing I need you to do, go to our bio, click on the Telegram link and join the OMENKA Igbo Action Group. And we are going to be having the opportunity of answering people's questions. But in addition to that, and more importantly, I am creating that platform to give us a better relational opportunity to create movements that would be able to affect policy. I don't know whether it's in Nigeria or anywhere, but even if it's not governmental policy, it is policy that may help in the preservation of Igbo language. Ihe ndị omenka na-arụ bụ ịgba mbọ ka asụsụ Igbo na omenala Igbo hapụ ịnwụ. Our agenda is that. So please, let us know why we're here. All right. The proverb pụtara dịka I'm not a bot. I'm not a bot. What is your Igbo name? Nwata erughị eru chọwa ihe mere nna ya. Ihe mere nna ya eme ya. And somebody asked the explanation. Sincerely, Emeka, Igbo proverb do not fit into English. Whenever you try to explain it in English, you can only try to transliterate. The only time you can equate a proverb by explaining it in English better is when you equate it with an equivalent English proverb. For instance, n'asụsụ Igbo enwere eme ngwa ngwa emeghara ọdachi. Na Bekee enwere a stitching time saves 9. So you find out that in English and Igbo, the two proverbs do not have any relationship contextually, I mean grammatically, okay? But the meanings are the same. A stitching time saves 9 means exactly the same thing with emengwangwa emeghara ọdachi.